So in today's video, I want to share with you the 5 simple steps to manifest anything that you want in life, any of your dreams, desires, and goals. And these are the same 5 steps that I've used over the last 5 years to go from being broke, depressed, having a drinking problem, telling myself I'll have no success in life, whether to do with my health, wealth, relationships, or happiness, to now being happily married, moving from the UK to the island of Crete. I have a 5-month-old beautiful daughter, and creating 3 businesses online that's created time, location, and financial freedom for us. So I want to talk to you first, before going into these 5 steps, about manifesting. And I'm not going to go too deep into it because you understand to a degree about manifestation, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. And a little tip as well, watch this to the end, because one of the things that I do find, especially in the beginning with working with clients and people that I speak to, is that they cannot see things through, okay, start to finish. And if you can't spare 10 or 15 minutes to watch this video, how do you even expect to change any area of your life? So let's talk about manifesting. Some people ask me, what is manifesting, Russ? How do I manifest? And I say to them, it's like asking me, how do you breathe? And there is a better way to breathe and there's a lesser way to breathe, right? There's a better way to manifest and there's a not so good way to manifest. And when it comes to breathing, you know, a lot of people breathe from their chest and shoulders. And for some of you that may know, breathing lower into the abdomen and from the diaphragm is a much better way to breathe, right? And when it comes to manifesting, you're doing it on autopilot. You are breathing on autopilot and you are manifesting subconsciously at the moment. And what you need to do is link the conscious and subconscious together so that you can actually ask yourself powerful questions and question yourself around your assumptions, question yourself around your beliefs, question yourself around what you believe to be true, and ask yourself this question: are those beliefs, are those assumptions, is that perspective empowering me or disempowering me? Is it leading me one step closer to my inspiring life, or is it just recreating the past and bringing it into the present? So that's a little touch on manifestation, but I want to move into these 5 key points, okay? And these are very simple, they're just hard to do consistently, okay? So number 1 is you have to have clarity, crystal clear vision on your desires of exactly what you want. So whether it's building the body of your dreams, whether it's having the relationship of your dreams, whether it's reaching 100K a month in your business, or reconnecting with people, whatever outcome it is, you have to have that crystal clear clarity on where you're going. You need to be able to paint a mental picture of where you're going. You need to be able to smell it. You need to be able to taste it. You need to be able to feel it. You need to be able to live it on a daily basis so you know exactly where you're going. Because we all set some targets, but they're quite vague. And you need to have a crystal clear target so that when you do fire your arrows, it knows the path that it's going. Your subconscious mind is a bit like a laser guided missile, right? Or a heat seeking missile. So when a missile fires off to hit the target, sometimes it moves off the course and then back onto the course. And what it does is it's pre-programmed to guide itself to hit that target. And if you currently are having these subconscious thoughts that you're not worthy, it's not going to happen, or you have a plan B, I always say that if you have a plan B, it will eventually become plan A, or a safety net, or I'll do this if that doesn't happen, or you don't truly believe that you can achieve and desire it. Like the missile, your brain is going to veer you back to it. Like, for example, if you're in a new relationship, and if you say to that person, oh, I'm not too sure if this is going to work out because I feel like I'm going to let you down. Or if you don't even say that verbally and you say in your mind right now, I feel like I'm going to let this person down. I feel like it's not going to work out. I feel like it's going to be the same thing again, where 3 months in, they turn into a psycho, right? That's all the things I used to tell myself about relationships. Well, what ends up happening is it doesn't matter how hard you try to get to your desired outcome. It doesn't matter how hard you try to make that relationship successful. Subconsciously, you're just pre-programming yourself to guide yourself like the laser guided missile to sabotage that relationship, to live out that subconscious thought, to make that subconscious come into reality. So we have to have crystal clear clarity on exactly where we're going, what it looks like, your dream business, your dream life, your dream body, whatever it may be. So now we've got that clarity. And you may want to, grab a pen and paper, pause this video and write some stuff down. Step number 2 is you need to start figuring out what your assumptions are and whether they're serving you or not. So there's something called the law of assumption. And there are a lot of these universal laws, and I speak about these on my channel, so you may want to check back on some videos. But the thing about the universal laws is that if you don't understand them and understand how to make them work for you, they're going to be used against you. Very similar to money. Understanding the laws of money, understanding how money works, in particular debt. If you don't understand how debt works, what happens? Debt is used against you. Like credit cards, loans, you get in financial debt, and that causes pain and chaos in your life. But if you understand the laws of money, and you understand how money works, and you understand how to leverage debt, then it works for you. And these universal laws apply to everything in your life. So let's focus on the law of assumption. So you have these assumptions at the moment, right? You have assumptions about who you are as a person, and you have assumptions around the world, your environment. Whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's money, whether it's relationships. And you have these assumptions, and you've built these assumptions from your previous experiences, from your past, over the last 10, 20, 30, or even 50 years. And you experience these things through your 5 senses, and then those 5 senses create the experience and the assumption and create a belief. And this belief is whether something is good or bad, positive or negative, or whether you are worthy of this or not, ready or not, or you have access to it or not. So what you need to do is check yourself with your assumptions, and in particular your assumptions around achieving that desired goal. So let's just say that desired goal is that you want to make 100k a month online in your business and become financially free. What you need to do is, now moving into step 3, is do a self-audit. And you need to do a self-audit, and I recommend grabbing a pen and paper to do this, and write down all your assumptions around making 100k online. And at the moment, if you was anything like me 5 years ago, you'll have these assumptions that money is hard to come by, money doesn't grow on trees, nobody has any money to work with you, people don't want to hear my offer, yada yada yada. It just goes on and on and on. And you've got to do this audit and ask yourself this question: are those assumptions empowering me, or are they disempowering me? Are those assumptions allowing me to do the work, to take the risks and have the courage to go all in, or are they holding me back and I'm procrastinating, overanalyzing, or having imposter syndrome, as they say? And I could talk about imposter syndrome on another video if you like. So you've got to ask yourself these questions, and then your assumptions about yourself. You may be saying to yourself, I'm not worthy of that success, I'm not worthy of that money, I'm not worthy of handling those finances. Because as the great Jim Rohn once said, who was Tony Robbins' teacher, he said, if you become a millionaire overnight, you best start acting, thinking and doing as a millionaire so you get to keep the money. So it's not about the goal, it's not about the business, it's not about the things, it's about becoming the character, it's about embodying the self-image of someone that can already have that with ease. And then next, with this audit around your assumptions, I want you to do a bit of an audit with your traits and characteristics, because we don't achieve goals, whether it's a new relationship or financial freedom. We achieve characters and identities that manifest those goals. Because I am you and you are me. We're all exactly the same. We have all the same opportunities, we have all the same time, we've all got a brain and so on from there. But the difference between the person that's doing what you say you can't do is that they have different assumptions about themselves, they have different traits, and they have different habits and characteristics. Because if you already had those habits, if you already had those traits, if you already had those characteristics, if you already had those beliefs and assumptions about said thing, then you would already have it right. And yes, that's a tough pill to swallow. I had to swallow that pill a long time ago when my mindset coach said to me, Russ, if you had the beliefs, habits and traits and character of someone that makes 100k a year, then you would already be making it right. And I was like, damn, I didn't want to hear that. But I needed to hear that though. And because of that, I was like, okay, so maybe it's not the next funnel hack. Maybe it's not the next business model. Maybe it's not the next system or post or mentor or coach. Maybe it's just all about me. Because one drop in the ocean is the entire ocean. And you may see some of these traits and characteristics in people that you admire. Maybe someone in relationships, you might admire that they're loving and they're spontaneous and they're giving. Maybe someone that makes a lot of money, meaning that they're high energy. They always show up with aggressive action and they give impact and share value every single day. But one thing stands, and one thing is universal with all of us, is that you cannot see or perceive a trait or characteristic in someone that you don't already have from within. We can't make it up. And that's for the light and the shadow, right? That's for the good and the bad. And I want you to kind of recall back to when you've shown and displayed those habits. And it may not be in the same area, it may not be towards the same goal, but you have it from within. You've shown up with high energy, you've been impactful, you've been giving, you've been loving, and you've just got to harness that energy and start recreating it in your life now and taking action that is aligned. So that moves me on to the next step, which is creating the future you. So if we've got crystal clear clarity on where we're going or where we want to go, our desires, how much money we want to make, the business we want to create, the relationships we want to create, the body and health that you want to see in the mirror every single day, we then need to look at our assumptions. Because if we had just assumed that that's out of our reach, we're not worthy of it, it can't happen for me, then it's never going to happen. So we've got to start removing them, and we've got to start inverting those. And that's where we do the self-audit, which is step number 3. And the self-audit is where you start to now invert those beliefs. You start to invert those traits and habits. So if you're someone that isn't focused, you start practicing focus. If you're someone that isn't disciplined, you start creating self-discipline. And I have a video on how to do that. If you're someone that assumes that I can't start a business because there's too much competition, you need to start assuming that there isn't enough competition. Because right now, if you're thinking there's too much competition, that's going to create a belief, that's going to create a perspective, that's going to create the options that you think you may have or not have, and they're probably going to be pretty limited. And from there, you can't really make many decisions, and you may not make any at all, which leads to you taking an action or doing the same actions you've done before, which then just brings the past back into the present, because it doesn't move you and move the needle to the next step, right? Which is getting one step closer to your inspiring and compelling future. So doing that audit is really going to help, because it all starts here, guys. I think, therefore I am. And I am, those 2 words, are the most powerful 2 words you will ever say in your life. And if you change your I ams, you can change your world. If you want to start an online business and you're saying, I'm not good with tech, then guess what? You're not going to get that computer out and try and build a website or a sales funnel or a course, because you're going to hold yourself back through your I ams. But if you start changing that I am someone that loves technology, I'm someone that is willing to learn. I'm someone that is going to pick up the phone or computer daily and just spend 10 minutes learning. I'm someone that is a master and lover of technology. Technology loves me and I love it back. And then guess what? That's going to change the belief. The belief is going to change the frequency. You're going to go into a higher energy, and you're going to have different options that present you. You're going to make different decisions, and you're going to take a different action. And if you just take one different action each day and move your life by 1 degree in one direction, you could end up in 100 degrees somewhere else. A bit like sailing in a boat, right? Let's just say I'm going to sail in a boat from England to France, and the course is set, it's in a straight line, but if only 10 miles into that journey, the compass goes out by 1 degree, I can end up in a completely different country. And this is how just by changing one thing at a time can help you do that. So moving into the next step, it's all about creating the future you. Because it's not about thinking about the actions first, it's thinking about the person you want to become, which is the I ams. So let's just say, for example, you want to make 100K a month inside your business. Well, you need to take yourself to a future state. And let's say that's 12 months from now. And if 12 months from now, you're making 100 grand every single month in your business, I want you to write down on a piece of paper, I want you to close your eyes and meditate. I want you to see what comes up of what you sound like, what you look like, your posture, your body, your energy, your tonality, the habits that you have, the thoughts that you embody, the beliefs that you have, the skills that you now have, the traits, all of it. I want you to just write all this stuff out and start creating that future you. Because believing in your current self isn't going to be enough. Because if it was just as easy as believing in yourself, everyone would manifest what they want in life, right? And yourself right now isn't capable of it. Once again, it's a tough pill to swallow. My current self right now isn't capable of achieving the next milestone in my business, in my relationships and health. Believing in myself is keeping me where myself is right now, and believing in yourself is keeping yourself right now where you are. So you need to believe in your future self and start creating that vision of what that future self looks like. So for example, I'm quite new to YouTube. I've been in business for many years, but I've only just started creating videos over the last couple of months. Sorry about the dogs. Lots of dogs in Greece. And I have a vision of creating a business. I have a vision of creating a YouTube channel to help thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people around the world manifest their dream life. And every single morning when I wake up, I say to myself, I have 100,000 subscribers. And then when I have 100,000 subscribers, I then look at myself and say, well, what would I do if I have 100,000 subscribers? How much value would I add? What quality would the video be? What quality would the sound be? And as you can see recently, I've got myself one of these mics. And before that, I didn't have one. And someone, Marco, if you're watching, made a comment. Just got a stone in my crock. Yes, I'm a crock wearer. I just want to pause for a second. Just look at this. Absolutely beautiful. But nothing as stunning as the view behind. It's my lovely wife and daughter. How much further can we go? I think we can go for ages, can't we? We're just trying out new walks, right? This is like inspiring me on the walk and talk. So as I was saying, I've got this new mic, right? Because someone said to me in the comments, like, one thing you could do with Russ, I think your videos are great, but the sound quality isn't that good because I'm just using an iPhone. So I'm like, yeah, like if I'm gonna have 100,000 followers and subscribers on YouTube, which will give me the ability to help thousands of people transfer their lives through my training and inspiration and videos, that future version of me has a better quality mic. And then eventually that person will have a better quality video. And then I'll have better quality production. And I'm gonna give even more value. I'm gonna share more of myself. And I'm gonna be even more authentic. And I'm gonna just give all of myself to this video. And this is the same for relationships. This is the same for getting a better body. Let's just say you want a six-pack. And I remember speaking to a young lad when I was just 21 years old and I was a personal trainer. One of my first jobs. And he said to me, Russ, I want to get a six-pack. How do I do it? And I said to him, take yourself to the future, 12 months from now, and you've lost the 4 stone, and you're absolutely ripped to shit, right? You've got a six-pack on your face, let alone on your stomach. Tell me what your routine is like. And he sat there for a bit and he thought for a bit, and I said, like, look, come back to me in a couple of minutes. He come back and said, I've got it. And he said, well, I'm probably going to get up at 5 a.m. And the first thing I'm probably going to do is go and do some fasted cardio. And then from there, I'm going to probably eat some scrambled eggs. And then from there, I'm going to drink a protein shake. Then I'm going to go to the gym and work out. And the list went on. I'm going to go to bed at this time and take these supplements and do this to myself. And I said to him, cool. I said, look, you don't actually need my help. Maybe you might need some motivation. Maybe you might need some accountability. But when could you possibly start recreating that version of yourself? When could you possibly start recreating that daily routine by just 1% tomorrow? And he said, I'm going to go do it. And lo and behold, I saw him in the gym week in and week out, month in and month out. And 6 months later, 50% sooner than he thought, he had a six-pack. And he said, I literally just started living from the future me. And this is where living from the wish fulfilled comes in, right? That you start acting from the event rather than working towards the event. So I want you to start creating that future you and then start taking the aligned actions daily. So think about your I ams. I'm healthy, I'm fit, I'm loving, I'm successful, I'm wealthy. And start thinking about the actions that you can do daily to show up as that person. So rather than putting the future you on a pedestal, rather than thinking it's too far out of reach, just recreate that by 1% tomorrow. That's all you need to do. And then if you demand 1% more of yourself every single day, you're only 100 days away from being a 100% better, therefore two-folding yourself into the 2.0 version of you. And you won't even recognize yourself. You'll have new habits, you'll have new traits, you'll have new characteristics, you'll have a new set of beliefs, you'll have a new perspective on life, you'll have a new energy, a new presence, and you will just embody it. And it will just become the I ams, because I think, therefore I am. And I know it sounds simple, and it really is, it's just hard to do. Which moves me into the last point, which is checking back to move forward. You need to review your progress. So demand 1% more of yourself, but make sure you check back. You need to look at the data, because making changes, growing a business, getting your health on track, it can be an emotional roller coaster, because you're going to have the 1.0 version of yourself and you're trying to create the 2.0 version. And every time you step into that frequency, every time you step into those habits, every time you step into that belief of the 2.0, the 1.0 is going to kick and scream and try and destroy it. And it's all to do with the animal brain, the survival brain, the one that wants to keep homeostasis, equilibrium, and stay just as we are. So you need to start checking back on your progress and looking at things that are working and not working, where you're placing your energy that's most valuable and not so, who you're spending time with that's complementing your goals and taking you to where you are, and where you're spending time which is in direct competition to where you want to go and how you want to feel and how you want to perform. And that's what it's all about, checking back in order to move further. Because let's just say we were going to climb Everest together. We're not going to get to the top of Everest, the peak of it, by just staring at the summit. We're going to get there quicker by reviewing the hour climb. Because if we review the climb every hour, we can see what was working and what wasn't. And that's where you get the data. And that's where you can then speed up your progress. So in summary, 5 steps to manifest anything you want in life. Get crystal clear on where you want to go, where your desires are. Number 2, start looking at your assumptions around that desire and what you believe to be true or not true. Number 3, do that self-audit. Audit your beliefs, audit your habits, audit your traits, and put a red marker and a green marker for the ones that are empowering you and disempowering you, the ones that are going to allow you to achieve it and not achieve it. And then from there, you're then going to start creating that future you. Take yourself 6 months, 12 months, 24 months in the future, wherever you may be, and start creating that image of who you are, that self-image. What time you wake up, what food you eat, where you're placing your attention and your focus, the people you spend time with, the actions and habits that you do every day, the beliefs, the energy, the whole lot. And then once you've done that, you've only got to be 1% better every single day. Just create it by 1%. And 100 days from now, you would have two-folded yourself into the 2.0 version. And then don't forget to track your progress. Set yourself weekly, bi-weekly, monthly or quarterly checkpoints and just look back, look at the data, refine the process, and you'll speed up. Because let's just say that future you is 12 months from now and you follow these 5 steps, then you are going to outpace that mother, all right? You're going to outpace that one and you're going to get there even sooner than you thought. So it's all about the becoming, it's all about the I am, getting into that vibration, getting into that frequency of that timeline to take yourself to the future you, to become the future you. Ask yourself questions, what would the future you do? And before you know it, you will become. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment if you're all in with this, and I will see you in the next one. Much love.